Hi everyone, I just wanted to check in and explain exactly what we're going to be doing during e-learning and show you where to find everything in case there's any questions that pop up during e-learning. So in our Schoology page, you will see this new green e-learning folder. If you open it up, you will see a couple things. So right now I have all of these viewable. The lessons are going to be hid so that it's easier to figure out what day we're on, but for now all of them are viewable. So each day you're going to click into the lesson and read what you need to do for that day. Everything that you need to know is in the lesson overview for that day. So if you click on it, you will see exactly what you're going to be doing. And then you are going to also see a little overview video that I post. I talk about what you're going to be doing for that day. It's a very brief video. This one's only about a minute long. You don't have to watch it. If you want to just read what you're doing instead, that's totally fine. And then I also include anything that you're going to submit for that day is in that folder. So if you click on the lesson, you'll see anything that you need to submit for that day, the lesson overview, and then a lesson overview video. And you'll see it's the same for each day. So the video, the lesson overview, anything you need to submit here and here. And again, overview video, lesson overview, and then anything you'll need to submit. And so just to talk about a little bit about what it looks like to submit something, this one will be easy to look at because it is an assigned document. So when you open this up, it will create your own copy of the assigned document. Mine looks a little different because it's the teacher view. But it'll make a copy of the document for you, and then you complete the document, and then when you're finished, you'll click submit. So there'll be a little button that says submit at the top of it, and then when you're finished, you just click there. Some of them won't be an assigned document. So for instance, if we look at lesson 1, this is a formative assessment, so that's a little formative quiz that the students will be taking. Here, there's one that's submitting that you're not creating a copy of it for yourself, you're just submitting something. So again, mine looks a little bit different, but yours or your students will look like it'll have a section where you can submit a actual file. And when it is submitted, you'll see that it's been submitted, and I can see that it's been submitted. So those are what the lessons look like. Again, they're in the e-learning folder, the green e-learning folder. And then I also included this planning document, which is included in the email I sent out. It looks like this. You'll see the exact same information, a little bit smaller so that it's easier to read. And then you'll see the linked daily activities. This is exactly what it looks like in the e-learning folder. So if we go over here and look at the lesson overview, it's exactly the same information here and here. So this is just for you to keep track of if you want to for your students and see what they're going to be doing throughout the rest of the year. And to talk a little bit about what we are going to be doing for the rest of the year, when we left off before we joined eLearning Online, we were finishing up the judicial branch unit, and we also hadn't assessed the Constitution unit formally yet, or excuse me, summatively yet. So we're going to do a little formative Constitution judicial branch Schoology quiz. It's not for a grade, it's just a formative grade. And then we're going to move on to a new unit with the legislative and executive branches. So we'll start that with the legislative branch. We'll move on to the executive branch, and then there will be a summative assessment for the legislative and executive branches. And then we're going to move into the Intro to Economics unit. The Intro to Economics unit will also have a summative assessment. It's a vocabulary project. And then we'll move into Business and Banks. Business and Banks will also have a summative assessment. It's a pared down version of the Business Day project. And then we'll be done. We'll have a year-end reflection, and that will be the end of e-learning for the year. So we'll finish up Judicial Branch and Constitution, move into Legislative and Executive, move on to Intro to Economics, and then Business and Banks, and we're finished. I've also posted a couple key pieces of information here. The first one is troubleshooting for if Schoology goes down. My guess is that Schoology is going to go down a couple times throughout the rest of eLearning. It's happened in the weeks before spring break. It'll probably happen again with everybody trying to access Schoology at the exact same time. So if that happens, I do encourage your students to try to access Schoology during an off-peak time. I found this to be really easy in the morning, so like 8 a.m.-ish, and then sometimes in the evenings around 4 to 5 p.m., sometimes even as late as 6, I've had to access Schoology. So if this happens, just try during a different time. Mr. Block also posted on Schoology that you can close Chrome and then reopen it and relog in. I haven't tried this, but it may work. So there's a couple ways to get around Schoology going down. I just encourage you to keep trying and not give up. The other important page that I've posted is my office hours. So I also included this in the email. My office hours for civics are going to be 9 to 9:40 and 11 to 12 on A days. During this 11 to 12 time is when students should be expected to complete their civics work. So this should be just for civics time. If it's not possible, of course, they can complete it at any time because it is all asynchronous learning, meaning that I'm not going to be teaching anything in a conference where they'll have to be online all at the same time. But that is an encouraged time to work on civics work. And I will be available for help in the conference feature, which I'll show in just a moment. And then also on B days from 3 to 3:40. The reason why it's not to 10 or not to 4 is because I will be with my World History 1 students for the last 20 minutes. So that time will be carved out for them. And then to show you where the conferences are held, so if they need to talk to me face-to-face in a conference style, you just click conferences and then it'll pop up. It looks a little bit different for me since I have the ability to start the conference, but I'll start the conference, and then once it's started, the students can click join conference, and then it'll be a place to ask questions in real time of me. If for some reason they can't make it to the conference times, then they are always welcome to reach out to me via Gmail or Schoology message, and I'll respond when I can as soon as possible. And that is an excellent resource, Schoology message and Gmail, pretty much anytime, even if it is during this conference time. I may not respond immediately because I will be in a conference, but I will try my best to reach out as soon as possible. The last thing I want to mention is updates in Schoology. I love using updates as a way to communicate. So if you want to find all the updates for your class, you'll click the updates page. Mine looks a little different because I have all of my classes updates. So I have several different classes. But you'll see here I mentioned the information about troubleshooting for Schoology. I mentioned information about Q3 grades in Power School. And then in the past, I've posted updates about the answer keys for the lessons we did before spring break. And I've posted other information about CNN 10 quizzes. These are all optional and just fun, but I like to communicate with students using updates. It's an easy way to quickly get information out to a lot of students. And there's also a way to see updates for the entire school and for all of the classes. So that is, if you click the Henderson, just go to the main page for MEH. There should be, there we go. A bunch of updates from all of this. I see mine obviously because it's my updates I just posted, but if there were other updates from, here is one from Mr. Dippold, here's one from Mr. Block, Ms. Jacobson. So you'll see there's a lot of updates from all of the different classes your students might be in. So this is a great way to also see a lot of updates at once. But if you want to go to just specifically my classes, my civics classes updates, you just go to this civics page and then click updates. And you will see them all here. I know this was a really long video, but I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the whole thing, and hopefully this helps you troubleshoot with your students, or if your students are watching this, it helps them troubleshoot if they're trying to navigate e-learning. And I want to thank you guys all for your flexibility and for your just willingness to try something new. You guys have all been such great risk takers, and you've really shown a lot of perseverance. And I know all of your teachers and all of your parents are really proud of you for doing such good work. So just keep it up. If you need anything, please, please, please reach out. Parents, please feel free to email me, ask about current progress, ask your students how they're doing. Students, please message me if you just want to chat, you just want to talk about your pets, talk about what you're doing, talk about my pet, or anything. Just please reach out. I encourage you to reach out via Schoology message or Gmail. I'm always here and I love hearing from you guys. Okay, again, if you have any questions about e-learning, please let me know. But for now, the main information will be all in this e-learning folder separated by day. So hopefully it's easy, but if we need to make adjustments, we will. Okay, thanks. Bye.